Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we are back in the Ohio. Been a while. You guys probably weren't expecting this, but what you're about to witness is hilarity and an absolute beatdown of epic proportions. So hopefully you guys are ready. We gonna put on a clinic. So, before we get started, you guys enjoy what I do and you like my daily content, punch the like button, and if you haven't already subscribed, go ahead, click the subscribe button. It's that simple. Helps the channel out a whole bunch. Appreciate you guys. Now, with that being said, we are on north, and we're in the Ohio, and we spawned mid, and our destroyer is going to go exactly where he has to absolutely stop. He will not spot anything. He wants to run towards the right and then sit behind islands. That is his goal. We'll see how that works out for him. But that being said, the Ohio. What can we say about this ship that we haven't already said? First of all, I'm running the Azure Lane, New Jersey build on this, so I'm going full damage, as well as the new Arthas, which is Arthas that got buffed. Unfortunately, I don't really get to use the Arthas a lot in terms of its buff, but we do use Arthas a lot. We got a lot of planes, and they come back. Oh my god. Speaking of which, hello, Ibuki. How you going? Let's see what you can do out here. Now, he is angled. To his credit, he is angled. He's not flat broadside. But we are going to try to see what Arthas will do to him. And between me and the Marlborough over here, we just took a half of that man's health. I took 14k off of him, and the Marlborough probably took at least that off of him. So this man's not having a good time. Clearly, their destroyer's in the middle of the map, so we don't want to dilly-dally around. But their team is being incredibly passive in this one. Our team on the left is kind of going to be weird. I'll give the Marlborough credit where credit is due, but this is just a weird match. It's just one of those matches you look around and you're like, what is going on? What is going through the minds of the people that I'm playing against and on my team? Now, obviously, Ibuki doesn't actually end up pushing here. I thought he was going to, but I'm spotted the whole time by the gearing, and he's going to wrap back around and stay behind the island, keeping away from me, which is unfortunate. But our enemy destroyer gets spotted. He already ate a torpedo or something because he's lost all of his hit points. He beaches himself broadside in front of our Marlborough, who's around the corner, so I go ahead and reach out and touch the man to make sure that we can help get rid of him. And we take all of his health with 4 overpins, and the Marlborough immediately finishes him off. Helping get rid of the destroyers is a big deal. They only had 1, now they have none. Okay, but he did manage to capture the base before he died. So he's already been more helpful than our destroyer. Unless, of course, it was our destroyer that hit him with a torpedo. Which is possible. Now, as I try to move my way over towards the right side, you see the enemy Ibuki coming back in. I'm not spotted anymore, so I can kind of play a little bit different here. I want to try to catch these guys off guard. You can see Ibuki already making his turn, so we're going to go ahead and try to lead the turn, expecting him to continue the turn. And he starts to, and then he thinks about it, and then he goes back to it, and we are only going to hit him with 1. If he'd have continued the turn, he's dead. But because he kind of hesitated, we only catch him with 1, but it was enough. It was 20,000 damage because of our build. Yeah, that hurt. 1 shell, 20,000 damage. That's like eating a torpedo. Okay, it's pretty nasty. But Ibuki tries to run away. We place the shots, trying to finish him off. And we do manage to get our first kill. Taking us up to 52,000 damage with our first kill. Now, with everybody else that's left, you can see Carl is on the other side of this island. He's playing pretty passively, kind of bow in. It doesn't do me any good to go out into the open water to the right side, because as our Ohio over there is already learning, there's a Worcester over there, plus the Carl. Things are not going well for him. So instead, I'm going to counter-rotate. We know that the Ibuki is here. We know that the Ruprecht is here. And if I can counter-rotate, I can put myself in position to counter those guys, as well as get some crossfires. And Worcester is spotted inside our range. I'm not spotted, so I'm going to try to use the island if I can. But as I get the shot out, this guy's already turning to run away, so I know those shells are going to do absolutely nothing. Maybe I catch him with a shell, maybe I don't. But either way, we're going to try to put ourselves in position to counter this Ruprecht. Now, unfortunately, because we shot at the Worcester there, if I hadn't shot at him, I would have my guns ready to absolutely neuter this Ruprecht. But as the Ruprecht comes around the corner, he is actually paying attention. He's going to angle to us relatively well. So this is where we pick up our second Arthas. We aim high because we know we overmatch the bow, but we also know that he has a extended belt that goes all the way to the front. So we aim high, getting over top of that, overmatching, and punching straight through his bow. Now there are torpedoes from our cruiser. I'm going to go ahead and try to play smart here. The enemy Carl is actually shooting me. My secondaries are doing what they got to do to him. And unfortunately, our Brindisi kind of sails right up in here, right in between two battleships to get himself into a whole lot of trouble. But we're going to go ahead and take another shot here at the Carl with our Arthas still running. And we get a pretty good result, 4 full penetrations. Now, I know I'm going to eat a torpedo here, but it's a Carl torp, so it's not really that dangerous to us. Might cause flooding, and if it does, we do have our damage con ready. But we remember, the biggest thing about the Ohio is those heals. It's got good secondaries, it's got good heals. They come back relatively quickly, so you can tank a lot in this ship. And that's going to come in real handy for us, because we're going to have to carry this team hard. So now, obviously, Brindisi goes down, but he does manage to take and trade with the enemy Ruprecht. He also manages to land a torpedo on the Repub, which is fair enough. But our Ohio is actually going to get a really good shot into the Ruprecht, or the Repub here, but doesn't manage to finish him off. So we're going to go ahead and fire one shot. I want to not fire all of them because I wanted to have my guns ready for the Montana, but we ended up needing a second gun to finish off the Repub. And as we move into the middle, we're actually putting ourselves back into a crossfire because we know the Carl's over there on our right. We also know the Worcester's over there.
Capture that area.
So you got to keep your head on a swivel, right, guys? You know where they're at. So just try to put ourselves in a position where we can be smart. Now, this Montana makes a stupid play. This is the dumbest play I've seen in a while out of somebody. Now, we do take a flood here, but again, that's why we have the damage con. Unfortunately, not able to get a shot here. You can see I already triggered Arthas, so Arthas is ready to go. Fortunately, it doesn't really matter because this poor Montana, like I said, this is just a dumb move by him. He knows I'm here. I'm not being sneaky. Now, there was a little bit of lag involved with this shot, but it doesn't matter because this man darn near got death struck. Over 60,000 damage, 7 full pins, a Citadel, only 1 Citadel. If I got more than 1 Citadel there, he's dead. But unfortunately, we miss out on the death strike by just the slimmest of margins. But it doesn't really matter. He's almost dead. Our next shot should kill for sure because he's still broadside begging for it. We aim center of mass, still got Arthas going, and down he goes. Now, paying attention to what's going on around us, we have 2 people left. We know where they're at. We know what their location is. One of them is capturing the base. The other one is sitting here farming me, right? So I'm going to turn in, use the island for cover. I'm going to capture this base, and my teammates are going to capture the base behind me. That gives us the cap advantage, and then it's going to come down to me having to try to kill one of these guys in order to make sure that we win this match, right? I've got to at least get 1 kill if we get both of these caps. So that's our goal. And so if I can get both of them, even better. But for now, the goal is simple. Get the cap, move out from cap, at least 1 kill. We know that Carl's roughly low, and we know that the Worcester at any given moment could mess up and end up getting sent back to port. But priorities. Now, I want you guys to pay attention to my teammates. The guys that are all the way at the back of the map. Back corner of the map. Ain't had nothing to fight all the way out there, right? They had a couple of people that charged into the cap, but the guys that are yelling, capture the Alpha Cap! They're the ones that are the farthest away from being useful. Shocker. But as we push in around this corner, the enemy's actually going to do something that I wasn't expecting. And that is they're going to try to YOLO rush me. I thought that they were in the cap still. I mean, they just captured the base. But it's actually the Worcester that ended up in the cap. And the Carl ends up in a situation where he's a lot closer than I was expecting. So we're going to have to be careful. Now, as I get ready to shoot the Carl, the Worcester opens up the angle and absolutely begs for it. So we're going to go ahead and hit him with the Arthas. Beautiful dispersion. And unfortunately, they land a little too high and we get a bunch of overpins. I was hoping that those would land a little bit lower, but it doesn't matter. He didn't finish the turn, so we ended up shooting a little bit too high. Now, we know that we've got plenty of health. We know we're using our last heal. He does end up getting a triple fire here between the two of them. We are expecting torpedoes from the Carl. Carl opens up the angle a little bit to use those torps, and we go ahead and punch him through the cheek for it. And then we use the rear turrets to shoot at the Worcester. Now, this whole time, we're not panicking, right, guys? And we easily dodge the torpedoes. Shocker. But our secondaries are doing what they're supposed to do. We take a little bit of damage from the Carl, but he's never really a threat to us. So as he opens up to use the torpedoes off the other side of the ship, we're going to go ahead and fire the front guns through the cheek, and we absolutely smash him. We get the rear guns on target, loaded, ready to go. We aim high, expecting Worcester to continue to kite, and we absolutely crush him as well, picking up the Quacken and carrying our team to a pretty exciting finish, but a victory. Finishing the game with 233,000 damage, Confederate high caliber, Kraken Unleashed, top of the leaderboard with my best XP game in the Ohio ever, with 3,778 base XP, top of the leaderboard. And where does the Carl that was yelling to go capture the Alpha Cap? He's at the bottom. Shocker. Let me know down in the comments below if you guys enjoyed, and if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.